So Simon Peter, he sees this vision, this sheet that came down from heaven, and a voice that said, "Rise, slay and eat." And of course, Peter had said no, but the Spirit of God said, "What I have cleansed, let no man call common or unclean." And then the sheet went back up into heaven. And Peter is just there, and he's trying to process this. Now, I think it's important for me to interject something here. Peter was a man who was kind of trying to understand exactly what was happening in this new age of the church. He was being used of God in an incredible way. We talked about how that in the early days that people were being healed just as Peter passed by. His shadow was touching people and people were being healed. Chapter 9 of the book of Acts records a man by the name of Enos who was healed of the palsy that Peter prayed for. And then there was a woman by the name of Dorcas or Tabitha. She died. He brought her back to life. So this is all on the heels of a great move of God. And now he's seeing this and he's trying to make sense of it all. Well, in God's timing from the time that Cornelius had his encounter with the angel to where he had sent these three people down to Joppa to meet Peter, right as Peter is there in the house in this kind of a trance state, saying to God, "What does this mean?" Here comes these three people. Hello in the house. Is anybody there? And so they say to Peter, "There's somebody at the gate." And Peter says, "Well, bring them up." And then he said to them, he said, "Why are you here? What brings you here?" And then they began to tell this incredible story about their boss, Cornelius, a devout man who loved God, who was generous and desired a relationship with God, who had seen an angel. And the angel had sent them there specifically to meet Peter. And Peter began to put it all together. I mean, this had great significance. And Peter began to realize this, that this is the hand of God, who has said, "What I have cleansed, let no man call common or unclean." And Peter did something that was just not to be done just a few hours before. He invited them to spend the night in his house, which was forbidden. And then he went with them back to Caesarea to meet Cornelius. Change. Incredible change. But you see, the truth of the matter is, when the scripture says, "For God so loved the world," he meant all of the world. And that message is to you and to me and to all those who would open their heart and receive him, that Jesus Christ died on the cross for all of humanity. This is Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.